What's up? What's up? It's me, the boy, back here today with a very familiar face in the studio. We've seen him once, but on my side, we swapped sides today. But here it is, Mr. Michael Anthony. Mr. Michael, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good.
So it's been, I think, 5 months?
Yeah, just about.
It's been about 4 or 5 months since you've got to come the first time. A lot has changed, so we're gonna dive right into it.
All right.
As far as Southern Lights.
Mm-hmm.
You entered Southern Lights again.
I did.
How did that go?
It went amazing. I think I really improved on a lot of the notes that the judges gave me last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, I feel like I really came into my own as a showman and just owning the stage and really taking into account every single lyric of the song and trying to match it with my face and my emotions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a really good time this year. Last year, I was so worried about my stage presence, but this year I think I nailed it.
Your whole experience from Southern Lights, if you could, shed a little bit of insight to people who some insight to people who may want to enter but hasn't yet. Could you give them a little, advice as why they should enter?
I think Southern Lights is a perfect opportunity for someone like me and others who are trying to get on stage and show their showmanship. It's a massive opportunity for you to get out there and be comfortable on that stage, get feedback on things that you need feedback on, and then grow from that. Normally in competitions, it's like everybody's at each other's throats because I gotta win. But something about the environment with Southern Lights and the tight-knit group we have is just beautiful. There's so many connections I made last year that I never would have made if not for this competition.
Yeah.
And yeah, experience. That's all I can say. Experience.
You said something that I think holds a lot of people up on decisions of entering stuff like that is even if you don't win nothing, you're taking away an experience that that's not just gonna come to you.
Exactly.
So for you to own up to that and hey, I might not win, but I'm gonna leave away from here with an experience shows a lot of character,
right.
Which we learned a lot that you had a lot of character last time. So you actually won the studio trip.
I did.
How did it go? Because you went to my favorite place ever.
Man, when I tell you walking into that building, well, first of all, let's backtrack a little because I actually got lost going to the studio.
It's confusing, ain't it?
I was looking at the GPS and I was like, okay, turn here. That's not Goldie sound.
There's an ice cream shop.
Yeah. But then it was like hidden away in like this really sketchy back part of the building. And I was like, okay, I see the Goldie sign, so I think I'll go in. But then once I got inside, I was like, okay, this is a studio. This beats my bedroom and my phone and my itty bitty computer like by a long shot. And it was just, as soon as I walked in, I knew it was going to be a wonderful experience. I say experience a lot, but that's the main thing I take away from music, the experience of everything. Yeah. And being in that studio, man, it was a dream.
Yeah.
It really was.
That was your first professional studio?
Oh, yeah.
So that was the first time you've ever even been in one?
Mm-hmm.
What room did you record in?
I was in the gold room.
You was in the A room, so the big room.
Mm-hmm.
What song did you record?
I did an original. It was like you say, it's from my second album. I re-recorded it. It's more of a like rock band type feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. What was the feeling? What was that feeling that you got when you did your first take on the mic, and then they said, "Let me play it back for you"?
Well, my problem with doing my own recording, I had a lot of reverb and stuff because I'm like, okay, I want this to sound a little. Not like it was recorded on a potato. And hearing like how on a condenser mic, oh my goodness, vocals on a condenser mic are amazing. And the amount of, because you do have to have a certain amount of experience when you're engineering audio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Ava, oh my goodness, she is a godsend because what she did with my voice, I didn't even know that was possible. Like, and then after that first take, we just kept building and building on layers and layers. I love to layer vocals.
Yes.
Like once I started learning to layer vocals, I didn't even ask for backup singers because there's so many things you can do with your voice.
Yeah.
And she just took that to the extreme, and I loved every second of it. I'm so ready to hear the final mix. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so y'all didn't mix in house?
Not yet.
Oh, so are you gonna go mix in house?
Yeah, we're gonna go mix.
All right. Well, I can't wait till you do that because that's where you're gonna get to see a lot of the cool stuff.
Even the rough mix of the song, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like.
It shocks you, right? Like, I'll never forget the first time it's like, wait, we're leaving here with this. It's not mixed all the way. Wait, what? It's crazy. All around great experience. So you loved Goldie.
Oh, yeah.
Will you be back?
I definitely will be back.
Yeah. So has that kind of changed your outlook on recording from your phone versus going to the professional studio?
It has. I will still be doing some stuff independently, but I'm going to finish this first trilogy of albums. Since it's started with me, I want it to end with me.
Right.
But once we move into the new era after the first 3 volumes, that's when I'm going to crack down on getting help, because Charlie said something to me during Southern Lights, and he was like, if we didn't have all these sponsors and stuff like this, if we would try to do Southern Lights by ourselves, it wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So hearing that, something that big, like that big of an event, that let me know that I definitely need help from others if I want to get somewhere with my music, because you really can't do it all by yourself. Like, as much as I want to have creative control, as much as I want to say, oh, I can adjust this volume right here, let me add in these vocals right here. It's good to have, especially in a professional environment, it's good to have people who can say, why not add this?
Right.
Take this out. It's good to have that.
Or to even have them put their own spin on it.
Exactly.
Their own spin. What you said about Charlie telling you, without the sponsors it couldn't be happening. It truly does take a village. It does take a village, and I do see when you can just go into a studio and you can just, hey, I'm here, I got my words, and I got the beat I'm about to send y'all. That's all I got to do. It's so much easier to me. So you still enjoy the at-home recording. Yeah. You're going to stick with the recording yourself, doing it independent through finishing up this third album?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the third album.
Let's talk about the third album.
How's she looking?
Whew. Well, she's 80% complete.
80%?
We're almost done with pre-production. I have 2 more songs to write, and then I'll be ready to start recording.
Okay, bet.
I actually wrote like 3 of the songs last week. So 3 of the songs, like top to bottom, all done last week. And I just had this rush of creativity, and I was like, okay, we need a different sound. And that's the thing with this album. This last album, since it is showing my growth from the side AEP in 2019 to this final album in 2023, I want to show that I've evolved not only in songwriting, but also with my style. So this album is going to have a lot more like radio-ready pop type songs too. There's going to be a little bit of rap in there. There's going to be a little bit of a Shania influence, a little bit of country, not too much, but just a little dabble to show my roots.
Yeah. How many songs is on it?
10.
10? So you call it an album, right?
All
right, I asked this question to somebody else. What's the difference between an album and an EP to you?
EP to me is anywhere from 5 to 6 songs. My first EP had 5 songs on it, and I just feel like an EP is like a prelude to the album. So the album can have, my first album had 8 songs because it was the first one, and I cut a lot of things, so that's why it wound down to 8. It was supposed to be 9, but then album 2 was 9 songs, and now this one is 10. So 8, 9, 10, kind of wasn't even intentional, but that's kind of a building block there. So,
have you noticed a major growth from album 1 to album 3?
Oh yeah.
Where's your biggest growth?
I think my biggest growth is in my musicality, because in the first EP, there was only 1 original song, 2 original songs on there, and with the covers, I used tracks right off of YouTube. So if I were to put that out professionally, I'd have copyright like smothering me.
Yeah.
But I think something I've really started doing with the Broken Stereo EP in 2021, I started making my own tracks. And once I started doing that, I opened the door up to endless possibilities, because now I'm not limited to a sound that someone else made. I can change anything I want to. And that's why I feel like having all original music on the final album is a big milestone, because it shows I don't have to rely on throwing a cover in. I can be confident enough in my own product to put it out there and have, the confidence that they're going to like it. That's why I have so many different sounds on there, because there's going to be a song for everyone.
Have you noticed the growth in your writing? Yeah.
I was talking to Ada about that too. We were talking about the first song we ever wrote.
Oh God.
We'll put her in a corner. We don't talk about her anymore.
Corner. That thing's in a coffin buried 30 feet deep.
Woo! It was called Mend Me, and it was
Mindy.
this really, really sad Evanescence type song. Just me and a grand piano, and my voice was nowhere near the shape it was in before I got to Chipola and took vocal lessons. It was like 2015, I think. My voice, I don't understand how Miss Angie White at Chipola brought out of me what she did, but I'm so happy about that. Because if it weren't for that, then I wouldn't be writing these songs because I wouldn't think I had the voice to sing these songs. But yeah, the little bit of college I went to, it really did help.
So you had a vocal coach. Would you advise not new singers, but people who's getting into singing? Would you advise them to have a vocal coach?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because if I would have done all this by myself, I would not be where I am right now. I wouldn't be talking to you right now because that's how much help I needed. Because my voice was good, but there's always room for improvement. I say that to this day. There's always room for improvement. And, you know, back home, everyone's biased. It's like, oh, you sound good. You're the cream of the crop down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of options. But
Yeah.
once you move into a college where there's all these people here for music, there's always going to be someone better. So having a vocal coach really gave me higher standards when it comes to my voice and putting myself in a position where I can reach those heights and just working on myself not only as a musician but as a person, because once you connect your musician self to your inner self, that's perfect. And you can work on yourself, and you will feel like you have crossed borders no one else has crossed with your voice, and that's like the most amazing thing to me.
Did you feel like it was hard to connect your regular everyday Michael Anthony to, okay, I'm artist now? Did you find it was hard to connect?
Yeah.
What was ways that you did connect that helped you connect?
I've really gotten into this, like, it's taken up to now for me to get there, actually.
Okay, so you've recently just
So,
gotten there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Southern Lights this year was when I finally made that connection. There was
Really?
something about, because the last time I was here, we talked about me taking a break and canceling my tour and stuff like that.
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
She needed that break more than anything. So that break was the most amazing thing I've ever done for myself. And I encourage all artists out there, if you are ever reaching a breaking point, please just slow it down. Like, pump the brakes. You're going to do okay. You have to allow yourself that time to get to where you want to be. And I had to learn that lesson. And something about finally going back on stage at Southern Lights this year really whipped me back into shape. And I was like, okay, this is what I love to do, and I'm going to show them that. And once I got out there on that stage, I finally connected. Like, the dots were...
It was there.
It made a horse.
Yeah.
And I'm riding it all the way to the finish line.
There you go, bro. Well, I appreciate you being honest about, here you've recently been able to connect.
Yeah.
So it leads me to, do you find it hard, and you might not even separate them at all, where do you find that, okay, I need to separate Michael Anthony from the artist Michael Anthony? Because you go by both, for your artist name is Michael Anthony, correct? So your everyday, how do you separate them two? How do you, because I just feel like they both can't live together.
We're about to get into some deep territory here, Bryce. Okay.
I got a shovel. We can dig.
So, the difference between Michael Anthony, just me being me, and M.A., just my musician self, the line is very blurred, because I want to be a very real artist.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be my most authentic self. With this documentary I'm filming at the time we're recording this, it's a part 2 to a documentary I did last year. And last year it was called Unplugged, because it was me not only doing like acoustic music like MTV Unplugged, but it's also me just, pumping the brakes on everything and just showing you what's going on behind the music and stuff like that. So last year, it was just a bunch of lip sync performances. Well, I made the decision this year to do live performances with an actual band behind me. And that ties back into me being real and authentic. One thing I strive for with my music, especially in lyrics, is to be authentic. And when you listen to the song, it's like you're hearing your inner thoughts. Because I want to put people in my headspace, and that will better help them understand the story I'm trying to tell with these albums. Because if you dig down and hear my experiences in these songs, it's like you become me.
Yeah.
So you not only become the musician, Michael, listening to the songs, but once you get into those lyrics, you become real Michael.
You're feeling the emotions of the real,
Yeah.
raw Michael.
And it's, once again, it's something I've only recently come into. But I feel like the time I've spent trying to balance it out, I realized I didn't have to. I don't want to be someone who has to feel like I have to put on a face every time I record a song. Now, do I have little caricature moments where I can just ham it up a little and be the showman that I am? Yes, but there's a difference between being a showman and a show-off. You don't want to get up there and completely forget where you come from. So that's why I'm stressing going back to my roots with this last album. And one of the final songs on this album is called Long Time Coming. And it's about me finally growing into myself as an artist and as a person. Because it's been a long time coming. It's been since 2019 when I put out that first EP. That's the amount of time I've spent trying to figure out exactly who I am. On that first EP, there was a song called Who I Am. And now we have Long Time Coming, which is me saying, oh, this is exactly who I am. I know who I am now. I don't have to ask myself. I don't have to look for assurance from someone else. I don't have to depend on anyone else anymore. And I just, when it comes to my music, I do need that help. But in my personal life, it's like if you're not supporting me, then you're against me. So, and I've really had to crack down on that here lately because there's just so many people who expect so much of you. They want you to go so far. But as soon as you get a song out, where's my money? Where's my cut of the paycheck? It's in my pocket or in my bank account. You're not going to see it. So, bye.
No. I feel that because I've asked this also a lot here recently. Do you feel like somebody's views or how many views they get should determine whether they drop something or not?
That's a tough one. I feel like...
Me personally, I don't.
Here's what I'll say about that. Sometimes the people who get the views are not the ones who deserve the views. Some people do buy their views. So you got to look at it like that.
Okay, so that is true. We are in a time where we can buy views.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely don't get discouraged when people have more views than you because my YouTube channel has been around, my 4 YouTube channels that I kept losing passwords to. I've been on YouTube for the past 10 years, and I finally have a consistent channel now, but I still only have like maybe 300 subscribers, which it's 100 something, so that's still a big milestone, but it's not to the standards that everyone else expects. And that's a border I've kind of had to break too. Not trying to get up to everyone else's expectations of you. Do what you think you get to the goals you need to reach as an artist. Right. And then you can worry about views and stuff like that. Once you know you've set your goals, then you can,
So the people that is looking in and, expecting these views, now are those people close to you or these are just people that's just, average Joe's not doing music?
Both.
It's hard to me to understand when people say, oh, I expect this. What happened to you got to start somewhere? Do you feel like that?
Exactly.
You feel like you got to start somewhere? I feel like the new artist today is like, hey, I just got to go post on TikTok and it's going to go viral and that's it. No. There's so much more to it. And that step gets skipped a lot. So that's why I asked that. Some people feel like I had somebody, I'm not gonna post this because it's not gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why?
Mhm.
One view's better than none.
Exactly. Like, and I'm gonna tie that back into the college thing.
Uh-huh.
Being in school for music, it's like taking a delicious cheesecake and pouring ketchup all over it. You have your cheesecake, which is music that you love. Ketchup, school. It's good for certain things, but they should not be combined. And I feel like you have to have a certain headspace to go to school for music, and that's just something I don't have. I hated school. I hated science. I hated math. Why do I have to do this to get the musical aspect out of what I want from school? I applaud people who can get bachelor's degrees in music and stuff like that, but I don't have that headspace. I don't have the attention to pay attention long enough in science and math. When I get to my music classes, that's where my attention is because that's what I'm here for. Right. I'm here to sing. I'm here to write the music. I'm here to learn my scales on piano. That's exactly what I'm here for. And then I'm not going to be writing a song and wonder, hey, what's the square root of that lyric times pi? I'm not going to have to solve a formula to figure out what beat works.
Yeah.
And that's not me talking down on people who do get those degrees, but you can't expect everyone to be able to do that. And I feel like that's where a lot of my thing comes from, because it's all these people who want all these goals for me. But I'll say it like this. They want change, but they want the change they want from me. I need my own change. I have to change under my circumstances, and I have to change into something I want to be. Mm-hmm. I can't live up to be what everyone else wants me to be. I can't continue to live for people. I can't let them live through me. I can't do it.
It's crazy, and I see it in a lot of artists. So many artists won't do stuff because of like, oh, I got such and such that's not gonna like this, and it's like, but they're not even gonna stream it. They're not even gonna do nothing to it. Which leads me to this next question: your inner circle. Do you? And this is answer truthfully. You know, no matter who your homeboys are. Is your inner circle as supportive as what you feel like they should be?
Certain ones, yes. The ones who are also involved with music, definitely so, because we all have a common goal.
They also see the vision.
Yeah.
Know the pain.
Yeah.
Know the work. Away from music. That don't do music.
Exactly. And those friends I have that are involved with music, we all try to stay close together so that way when one of us makes a move, we can put everyone else's foot in the door. Yeah. And we all have equal opportunity. So now, as for my other friends, after high school, I lost a lot of touch with people, which it's common. Everyone's moving off doing their own thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I understand we all have lives to live, but when you tell someone that you're gonna be there for them, you should try your best to keep that promise. Yeah, we all have lives. We all fight our own battles, but
everybody gets busy.
Yeah, everybody gets so busy. I can't make it. Oh my goodness, I have this going on. Okay, I had plenty of stuff going on, and I went out of my way to be there for you. So, and I try to be this selfless individual, but you just get to a point where it's like, why am I still doing this for people who I know won't do it for me? That's why I've gotten to the point now where I'm just doing Michael.
Exactly, bro. So. Exactly. I feel that so much. I feel like artists is supposed to just pour our energy into everybody else, but then when the energy is supposed to be poured into us, we don't even get 3 drops.
Exactly.
But we're supposed to just give our all to everybody. So I do want to ask this as far as family, because I deal with this stuff in my personal self, so I'm asking questions, to figure out everybody else what they got going on.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your family supports you the way that you feel like they should?
Well, family, I love you all dearly. I want you to remember that before you listen to this.
Nothing against them personally.
I love all of you. However, and I know everyone relates to this, so that's why I feel comfortable saying this. To an extent, they do support me.
To an extent, I can feel that.
With the school thing, I know that's what they want me to do. And I agree that I should go back to school for something different. If I go back to school, I'm not going for music because that, like I said, school and music just aren't clicking for me. They really want me to go back to college, but they want me to go back to college when they want me to go back to college. I needed a break, and it's like no one understood the concept of, oh, you have mental problems? What are you trying to say? You have mental health issues? That's gross. Like, I'm a monster for having a mental breakdown. And that's a stigma I really, really, really want the world to break, because I've had to hear so many times, well, a lot of that you bring on yourself. How do I control what other people do to me? How do I control?
They make me feel.
Yeah. And I have feelings. I'm so sorry. I have feelings. It's like this, like I'm Albert Einstein. I just announced that, oh, humans have feelings. And they're like, how far did the apple fall from the tree?
Wow.
And how do you not grasp the concept that some of us need time to cope with things?
Yeah.
My Aunt Carol passed away a week before my final show choir show at Chipola. And I tried so hard not to cry in that week, but something about being on stage, they made me sing the song from Toy Story 2, When She Loved Me. When somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. And I broke down on stage. I really did. And I couldn't hold it in anymore. And that started a sort of spiral for me, which led to me taking the break, because it was just stuff piling up on top of stuff. And then once I got home from Mariana and I was staying at home for a couple months, they were like, okay, when are you going to go back? I haven't even had time. Like, come on. And it's just, you've got to, just because you are related by blood does not make you family. Mm-hmm. And you've got to surround yourself with people who love you fully. They love you fully as yourself.
Regardless.
Yes.
Blood or not.
Yes. You love me in front of my face and you love me behind my back.
Yes.
That's the kind of love I need. Yes. Love me like you say you do.
Love me like that boy got a banger on the way. I know me personally, so I'm going to ask you. I feel as if artists expect more from others, like around them, their surroundings, because they're doing something outside of the box. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's so far-fetched for so many people that it's not. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I definitely see where you're coming from on that, because when you have, like, a certain vision for what you want to do, you're going to have outside opinions, and they're going to be like, there's not really anything like that around here. How are you going to do this? Yeah. And they expect you to think about all the logistics. But my thing is, if you have to go without something for a little bit to get to where you're going, you're just going to have to go without. You have to have complete faith that you're going to get there. Because if you sit here and you doubt yourself just like everyone else is,
you never end up.
Exactly. That's what makes getting to the finish line so much sweeter.
Yeah.
And last time I told all my artists, full speed ahead, baby. Just keep running toward that finish line.
Keep going.
And the song I put out a few weeks ago, Keep On. That's the mantra I'm going by from now on. No matter what happens, you got to keep on.
Got to keep on. I do feel like sometimes, because artists feel like it's not a race and they're not sprinting, that I'm not going nowhere. I just need to hang it up. It's not always, you're not always going to get that 10 steps forward. Mm-hmm. You know, do you see the challenges that are being an artist? Do you see the challenges artists face just by your everyday hometown people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For one, the doubt that we've been talking about.
The doubt.
And also the lack of opportunities, because we are in such a small town. You have to go a certain amount of miles out to even have the door open to one opportunity.
For real.
And then for multiple opportunities, you'd have to go halfway across the country. So it's hard, but the important thing is get your foot in the door whenever you can, go at your own pace, tortoise in the hare, slow and steady wins the race. Now, that doesn't mean you can't, get a little jog in whenever you can, but...
Yeah, sprint when you can.
Yeah.
Run when you can.
Yeah.
but not the whole race. You're not going to be running.
Exactly.
This
If
is
you
a
gotta crawl, you gotta crawl.
million-mile race. It's never going to be over.
Exactly.
You know. Do you see a negative or a positive of how social media how it has affected artistry and the way artists promote themselves? I feel like now it's entirely too easy.
Yeah.
So some of the craziest things, you know. Do you feel like it's made a negative impact as well as a positive?
I feel like the negative impact comes from the amount of followers. We talked about this before, but this is where I think the downside is. When you post something, if you don't have over 1,000 followers, you're not going to get the traction that you want it to have.
Yeah.
Now, Cardi B, Nikita Dragon, Diddy, they're going to get all the followers and all the likes and
Nikita.
stuff. Oh my goodness. Nikita made a post one day and she was like, "What race do I want to be today?" But when I post a song clip,
Crickets.
crickets and tumbleweeds, and I'm just like, wow.
What is weird to me is like social media will, you know, we can be real here. Half nude, half naked, no shirt, no shorts, beer, you know, whatever, some weed, whatever. That's gonna sell. But you can. It's just so weird to me, you know. So I just wanted to find out how you, what was your opinion on the social media?
And that's why I try so hard to be real, because showing authenticity on social media is one thing, but putting on that face is going to get you somewhere. And that's why I'm trying to break that barrier down. I'm going to be my real self, and I'm going to break that barrier down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be seen. I'm not going to be silenced anymore.
So I do have a question about, you know, keeping that same face. Me personally, I have to separate Bryce away from the boy. Two different complete faces. I have to.
Yeah.
So do you still feel the same? Like you keep that same face, you keep the same way Michael Anthony's going to work on the streets, or the same way he's going to operate during his music?
Not in every aspect of it. I think the biggest difference is who you see on stage versus who you see in person. Like if I were to do a music video, of course I'm not going to be the exact same person you see in person. Well, for one, video editing is
Crazy.
pristine.
Crazy.
So I'm going to look a little different in person. But I say all that to say there is a sort of cult of personality you have to figure out, and, you know, have a certain mindset going on stage versus going into everyday life. Like, I'm not going to go out into my everyday life and be like, "Hey, why isn't anyone asking for my autograph right now?"
Yeah, true.
When I'm on stage, you came here to see me, so I'm going to expect a lot of energy.
Nobody wants a picture or anything?
Yeah. I don't want to be one of those who is, like, out there avidly searching for TMZ.
Yeah, I don't want to be one of those. Neither.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, it has been an honor to have you here, to have you back,
Oh,
you know, and to hear your process, to hear your growth, to watch your growth. You know, it was awesome we swap sides, and just from us swapping sides, there's a big difference in the Michael from this.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I'm a huge fan. You already know we got some stuff cooking, so I appreciate you coming. We got some surprises for everybody. It has been a great time. Everybody at home, Mr. Michael Anthony, an incredible artist that you guys are going to be hearing his third album soon.
Yes, sir. 2023, baby.
2023, let's go. Well, we appreciate you coming, man, and it's been a it's been a good one. It's been a good one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.